come and fly away with me. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. Somewhere by the emerald sea, where the moon and water meet. Somewhere close to harmony, when the world is sound asleep. Something's gonna bring the change, journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views.
Welcome everybody here. This is Evergaming Life Network here. Today we're going to be casting some best of ones here. Here I am joined with my good pal Prime. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Had a long day at work, but you know, I get to kick back, relax, and watch some enjoyable League of Legends. So that'll certainly provide some entertainment and spice to the evening.
Yeah, this is ODL All-Stars, so we are in for a treat, folks, as we are getting started into picks and bans here. So what are your thoughts going into this, the fact that these are all best of ones?
I mean, considering it's best of ones, it's all-stars, I'm not entirely sure where teams are looking to going. I don't know if they're going to be more memey or if they're still going to take it seriously and try to perform to the best of their abilities here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ban phase ends up playing out, to see how many target bans, or if any target bans, we're going to see coming out from either team.
All right. So we do see the Veigar ban, first ban on Team 1, and then Zyra ban in response as well. So I'm not sure if it's mostly towards a target ban because Veigar and Zyra are both decently strong, but I just don't think they're optimal to ban.
I would say more of target bans in the case of those two champions, given the fact that Veigar is generally a very situational pick in the mid lane. You really don't see him outside of very specific lane matchups. And Zyra, while individually a very strong support, the meta really doesn't favor mage supports. Like primarily we're seeing tank supports coming in, things like Braum, things like Allstar. I'm even seeing some things like Leona, Tom Kench. It's really just not a meta for mages in the bot lane. You can always succeed with Zyra with the amount of lane priority she's able to put out. It's just a very risky pick, especially considering the damage keystone nerfs we're seeing on the patch.
Yeah, and then Team 1 also responds with a Lowy ban along with, I believe, to be an Orianna ban. So I think the Lowy ban is 200 IQ, hence the fact that Team 2's top laner's name is Mistress Lowy. So if that isn't a hint, I don't know what is. So at this point, we can feel safe to assume that these are all just target bans, just getting at each other's champion pools here.
Yeah, we are going to, and just for clarification, the Zillion ban is actually a Vel'Koz ban. Unfortunately, our stream pack does not have Vel'Koz enabled because nobody ever plays the champion. I'm just kidding. Please don't hurt me, Vel'Koz mains, because we did actually see him in the third place match being played by Bjergsen, so still a champion that is relevant. We just unfortunately just don't have him put into our stream pack here. But yeah, as you said, pretty much mostly target bans. I have seen people who have like names like Jace main, but they have 0 games on Jace. They're just meaning. But generally, yes, the people with champion names in their name generally prioritize playing those champions.
Yeah, we see the Kai'Sa first picked, which is pretty good. I think Kai'Sa is still in a really good spot here as long as you know how to play her correctly and are able to pair her up with someone like Morgana or Allstar, then it's pretty good for her. On the other side, we see Team 2 lock in Quinn and Lee Sin.
Not a big fan of the Lee Sin, just because it's very much reliant upon your ability to mechanically execute on the champion in order for him to be pulled off. Yes, he's an extremely powerful early game champion, has a lot of playmaking potential, but you have to be very, very confident in your use of ward jumps and use of animation canceling in order to get that champion to its maximum effectiveness.
Yeah, Lee Sin really has to be doing a lot of work here. But then we also see Kha'Zix picked up on Team 1, so it's not so bad actually with the Lee Sin pick here because both of these junglers have a similar playstyle where they want to get snowball lead, they want to go off that snowball and go from there, and their late games aren't too good. Maybe Lee Sin's has a bit of an edge since the Q changes make his late game less bad, but I still think Kha'Zix might be able to trump over the Lee Sin if Kha'Zix is able to get a huge lead in general.
Well, the thing with Kha'Zix is it's very reliant upon the team setting up appropriate team fights in order for him to pop off, getting those resets, getting those isolated Qs off on squishy targets. And whenever you're dealing with bronze and silver players, you're never entirely sure on where the level of execution is going to be in order for those champions to pull off. I would, on paper, though, favor someone playing Kha'Zix over someone playing Lee Sin just because of the skill floor to execute these champions is vastly different. To be an average Kha'Zix player, it requires a lot less skill than it takes to be an average Lee Sin.
Yeah, most definitely. And the Malzahar pick is really good, especially to help against something like the Quinn and the Lee Sin, who are going to be very mobile, trying to get in the backline, but with Malzahar ult, it's going to be able to put them, stop them on the tracks, and it's really fairly easy team composition actually. When you have a Malzahar, it's more like, alright, I'm going to click R on this guy, we're going to kill this guy, and they go from there. Then we also see Thresh picked up. I'm not a huge fan of the Thresh pick here. I think he's mostly a skill champion where there's a lot of variance and a lot of variables when you're playing with him on your team. Unless this Thresh is really good and his teammates are aware of it, then maybe it'll go good, but unless the Thresh isn't able to land these hooks, then it's looking pretty good for the side of Team 1.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Lee Sin, is that Thresh is a very high skill cap champion. You can very easily become a relatively average Thresh player, but to become a good to great Thresh player, it's how you're using his kit to its fullest extent. Using the lantern combination into flash flays, flash hooks, properly using your flash in combination with the lantern for escape purposes. Like, there's a lot of little things within Thresh's kit that really allows you to express your skill on the champion. And then there's everyone else who's just like, we don't really know how to play this champion, we just think he's really cool and really fun to play, so we're gonna play him anyway.
Yeah, and then Team 1 rounds off their composition with Kled in the top lane and Leona support. Kai'Sa Leona lane is pretty good. I think as long as Kai'Sa has the support that's able to keep her safe, then it's pretty good. So the fact that they did pick up the Leona's quite safe pick for them. It allows them to set up these teamfight initiations with the Leona ultimate. But then we see Kassadin and Cho'Gath locked in for Team 2. You have Cho'Gath, who's really beefy in top lane, who's going to be a huge threat later on. And then you have Kassadin, who, generally speaking,
he's broken.
Yeah, he goes online.
He is literally broken this patch. Anyone who is watching the stream and you are a mid laner, play Kassadin.
Yeah.
Take fleet footwork, go domination, get taste of blood, Ravenous Hunter and just kill everything, because I think right now he's hovering around like a 15 to 20% pick rate with like a 55 winning percentage right now. Like, he is absolutely freaking broken. And Malzahar is a relatively okay matchup because of the fact that you're going to require that Cassidy to get that early QSS, because without that QSS, Malzahar gets jumped on by Cassidy. Malzahar just presses R, and it doesn't really matter that it's a Cassidy who can jump all across the screen every 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then we also see the Kaisa actually picking up Cleanse. She doesn't want to be interrupted by the Quinn blind, the Thresh hooks, or the Lisa knockup, because there's a lot of CC on the side here of Team 2.
Yeah, there is a lot of CC on the table. It's not the easiest to set up outside of the Thresh, because the Cho'Gath knockup, the Cho'Gath silence, not the easiest of things to set up. It's really going to be primarily the CC from Thresh that she's going to be QSSing. My only concern, though, with Team 1 picking up the Leona is Thresh historically has been considered a soft counter to Leona, because you can use the Flay to interrupt her dash to a target. So if you're a good Thresh player, you're experienced in the matchup, you can pretty much negate any Leona engage pre-level 6. Because your Flay cooldown is much shorter than her E cooldown. So it's very easy for you, if you're able to position properly, time the Flay properly, to shut down the Leona and make it extremely easy for you to keep your AD carry safe and look to snowball the line.
Yeah, definitely a lot of priority with this Quinn and Thresh bot lane. I think they have a lot more kill pressure compared to the Kaisa and Leona, where Kaisa kind of just has to sit back, wait for herself to get some items, and then she'll go online. But Quinn's just a huge lane bully, where after level 6, she's like, all right, I'm just going to roam now and look for picks, because that's essentially why you'd pick Quinn, is that you're looking for picks. Not necessarily to just farm up. Yes, you can do that with side waves, but you're mostly looking to roam across the map, make a play, and go from there.
I think the lane to watch in this game is going to be this mid lane matchup of the Malzahar versus the Kassadin once both champions hit level 6. Because once Quinn gets level 6, I imagine her roaming mid constantly, because the top lane, it's a Cho'Gath into a Kled. There's not a ton of kill threat on either side there. Cho'Gath has a bunch of sustains. Oh yes, gotta love it. It happens every time, because Riot doesn't listen. Hold up, I actually completely DC'd from the game. So yeah, I'll need 1 second.
Yeah, give us 1 second. Shout out to Riot for small indie company. Always manages to slap us in the face with the spectator crash.
Well, it's the reason is that I've done a lot of work with Compete League, and we've submitted numerous tickets for them to take a look at the spectator client. But the issue is that they never do anything about it, because the percentage of people on the main server who actually use it is way too low for them to actually consider fixing the problem.
Yeah, it's a really sad story here. I happen to be connected back into the game. I'm not sure if you are.
Yeah, I'm connected.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna stop at 30 seconds. And pause. Okay, so I'm gonna hop forward to 50 seconds.
50, got it.
Are you paused at 50?
Minions have spawned.
All right. So on Team 1, blue side, we have Puffin playing Kled in the top lane, Bishar playing Kha'Zix in the jungle, Bygone Coder 0 playing Malzahar in the mid lane, Tristan and Grim Lobo playing Kaisa and Leona in the bot lane.
Well, on the red side, we have Team 2, Mr. Salawi in the top lane on Cho'Gath with Potato Chip in the jungle on the Sin. IP5 playing Kassadin in the mid lane, and then Warning Shot and Riv 60 playing the bot lane, and we're gonna see some cheese here.
Oh, this is a 5-man bush strat. I dig it. First blood going over, and Grim Lobo forced to flash. I'm not sure if that's actually worth. Cho'Gath did get the first blood. He's forced to waste his teleport in order to not miss so much CS, but now Kled has a 6 CS lead. He's going to hit level 2 first. First blood is kind of irrelevant because XP has a lot more value, especially if you don't go back to get an item.
Oh, but that is going to be one dead Lee Sin here in just a second here. One more Q. Oh, nope, he has to flash for it.
Nicely done actually by BitSharp. He actually utilizes the Kha'Zix passive to get into the bush, reset that extra bonus damage he does on his next auto attack onto a champion, and is able to pick up first blood. So nicely done. Ends up getting up a return kill, which kind of negates the whole pressure that Team 2 had with that 5-man invade, or 5-man bush strat.
I mean, it does give them more lane priority down in the bottom lane, which is kind of important. I mean, the downside to it is that Riv did rotate to cover his jungler's jungle to make sure that they didn't lose any camps down on that bottom side. But BitSharp's still hanging around in the jungle.
Yeah, Riv 60 just going to make sure his good old jungler's not going to get any cheesy invades going on again. No more shenanigans, and he's back into the lane. And I think this is really good for the Kai'Sa and Leona lane. It puts them in a really good spot here. Essentially, they were going to have a hard time against this Quinn and Thresh, but they seem to be doing all right. And as Puffin is harassing Mistress Alawi here in this lane.
I mean, it's a Cho'Gath. If you don't kill the Cho'Gath, he will just sustain back up. You always need to be
Ignite going off.
Really
the cleanse does not take off the Ignite. Tristan wasting the cleanse. I'm not sure if he realizes that the cleanse does not take off the Ignite, but he ends up getting the kill on Warning Shot. A lot of mistakes making here as Grim Lobo gets hooked in, as La Potato Chip is looking to pick up the kill. The stun goes off, and Kai'Sa gets another kill for himself. And it's a 1-for-1 in that bot lane gank.
A little bit of miscommunication, a little bit too much hype coming in on both sides, with both Warning Shot and Riv 60 eating the Leona Q when they go to try to secure the kill on the Tristan. And that just point and click CC is what actually ended up evening them out in the 2v2, plus the fact that Tristan did not die again, but he has no more summon.
I mean, he did get 2 kills off of that. Really huge misplay, especially if both the kills go into the Kai'Sa, but what confused me was that he tried to cleanse the Ignite. It was kind of funny. It was like, don't do that. You're wasting your summoner. But it turns out that he got the better outcome out of that situation. So things are starting to settle down here. Let's talk about this mid lane matchup here, because we see IPY5 is struggling a lot because Bygone is just shoving the wave in.
I mean, it's cast in pre-level 6. Like, this is going to happen. The biggest thing about cast in pre-level 6 is you get every ounce of farm you can safely get. Plus, you also see Bygone going that airy just to ensure they get even more lane control. And to be perfectly honest, if I was IPY5, I would honestly have taken teleport in this matchup, just because it's a very harass-centric lane coming in from Malzahar. You're really not going to have a ton of kill threat on him post-level 6, because, again, Nether Glass is the thing.
Yeah. So, at this point on, Team 2 really have to rely on Cho'Gath snowballing a lead, or Le Potato Chip just looking to make more plays here without kind of giving up these free rewards to Tristan, because he is being really proactive, and I give him credit for that, but if all your plays are resulting in a trade kill, then at that point it's not really worth it.
I mean, it's one of those risks when you pick such a early game jungler, is you're going to risk yourself getting some early plays off, but they could very easily backfire against you. And so far, we see about a 800 gold advantage over to Team 1, but it's starting to see those level 6 comes in, and this is when the opportunity for playmaking really starts coming in for the side of T2.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really excited to see now that Cassidy is level 6. We're expecting a lot of playmaking potential from him, especially since Tristan's losing a lot of priority in this bot lane now. We see that there's a lot of threats on the side of Riv and Warning Shot, but it really is up to them to make the right play here. So this is anyone's game. This is best of one. At this level of play, I don't expect a huge lead like this to go in anyone's favor. It's still quite even. So who do you think has a really good chance of winning?
Any team that has a Cassidy on it, you can't count that team out regardless of what the score is in the game, regardless of how the rest of the game goes. And we are going to see Puffin is forced extremely low up in the top lane.
Yeah, not looking for a good trade there, especially when he is dismounted. Mr. Salawi did have the feast on cooldown, so there wasn't that execute threat. So Puff is just gonna look to get some damage, get the remount, and there you go. He's gonna go back, have Scarl by his side, and he's gonna continue CSing. Has a CS lead over the Cho'Gath. I believe all players have a CS lead over their opponent, so that's looking pretty good for the side of Team 1.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is the lane matchups. Some of that is just kind of how that early game ended up. Like, for whatever reason, IPY5 walked into his own jungle.
Yeah.
For no reason, giving up like 2 waves of minions that were at his tower. Like, he's sacrificing a lot of farm for almost everything.
I'm not sure if he was looking for Bishop because they're worried about Bishop invading their jungle, or if he was just trying to get vision. But yeah, you're right. Missing those 2 waves is really, it hurts a lot, especially when you're against Malzahar, who constantly shoves these waves in. So obviously now Bygone has a huge XP advantage, and Puffin looking for a trade. I don't think he's in favor of that, especially when you're half health. Cho'Gath has a fair amount of mana, and he still has grasp, so he's essentially going to win most of these trades here.
I mean, he is far better in a sustain. So as I mentioned earlier, if you aren't killing Cho'Gath, he can sustain through pretty much any trade, just because of his passive, just because of grasp on top of that. We did see a potential for a play down in this bottom lane. We saw Lee Sin hovering there. He was on a control ward. They could have potentially looked for the play that I mentioned earlier, which is the Lantern into Flash play. Again, it is a very difficult play to pull off just because you have a very small timing window to where you can still get the Lantern, have them come with you, and still get the Flash play off. So not unexpected that they didn't try to force that play, but Tristan is allowed to safe up through his summoners coming back up, and I feel like it's just a missed opportunity from T2.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from Bishop aside from that invade in the jungle here. I'm assuming he's just gonna power farm his way, get some good items, and then look for an engage, or maybe these lanes are really hard to gank. Then again, he is up against a Thresh who has the Lantern to secure get out of jail for free card for his AD carry. The Cassin is really hard to gank, and Cho'Gath is pretty tanky when you're trying to gank him.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a lane to gank, unless, of course, he's able to 2-man roam with Bygone to get that guaranteed CC in order to set up Bishop to get the damage across.
Ethan goes in, potato chip, looking for an initiation. Actually gets the kick in, but Puffin's still fighting his heart out. He actually flashes back over the wall, realizes, oh, I can get a kill, is looking for it, but does not quite connect with the Q, and now Puffin's looking very dead here as Mr. Salawi picks up the kill.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if Puffin didn't realize that he does a lot of damage to the potato chip. But hold that thought, Bygone Coder is in a bad position here. He gets ignited by the castle wind, but pops the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough as he is going to be taken down by IPY5. But in response, we see Bishop take the Mountain Drake. So it's 2 kills going over to the side of Team 2, but the Mountain Drake goes over to Team 1, which is pretty good. I'm not sure if their comp is really good at taking these turrets. They do have the Malzahar who shoves very fast.
They're
So
really good at killing objectives. They're not really good at killing towers.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't the best Mountain Drake, but you know they got it off the hands of someone like Team Two, where you have a Quinn who's gonna be wanting to roam and look to split push and get some towers.
I mean, in their defense, as was mentioned in the LCS, Honor Recent has Kai'Sa with a Mountain Drake, and one other person can do Baron in about 10 seconds.
That's actually fairly true, yeah. So we got to look out for that. Tristan already has the tools in his hands. I'm really excited to see how Bisharp is going to respond to this. You know, I have high hopes for him. I think his Kha'Zix so far looks really good. He seems like he's really cool, calm, and collected, especially in this game here. So I'm hoping to see that he pulls out something out of his pocket.
I mean, he hasn't done anything outside of those invades early on, which did net him a kill. He has a level advantage on the potato chip, who's going to go for the play, but he just gets instantly blown up. They are going for a play onto Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan's got to run out of here. Quinn is already popping the ultimate. She's very fast, looking for the pick here. Grim Lobo pops the Leona Man on 3 members, and they go for the re-engage, but Kha'Zix is way too low. Bisharp goes down, and Cassidy picks up the kill on Tristan as Bygone Coder's a little bit too late, but the Cloud ultimate goes through. He's on 2 members, and he's going to be able to take out the warning shot, and they're still chasing for Rip 60, but it turns out to be a 1-for-2 here in favor, 1-for-3 actually in favor of Team 2, and you cannot chase a Cassidy who's past level 6.
The biggest part about that play is IPY5 picked up a 600 gold shutdown onto Tristan.
Yeah, that's a wearing.
It's a 3-0-2 Cassidy, who is down 50 CS, but is still up 300 gold over his lane opponent.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Team 1's going to adjust to this. IPY5 is going to be expected to be a huge monster as first turret goes over to Team 1, but Bygone's going to pop the ultimate, maybe get the kill. It does get the kill on Lee Sin. Love Potato Chip going down, but warning shot cleans up the kill, avenges his jungler, and I think first turret
got
gold.
First tower.
I mean, you can get first tower, but if you're just allowing these free kills to go on to someone like IPY5 or warning shot, then I'm not sure the value is still there.
I mean, the Quinn isn't quite as threatening as it has been on season patches. Like, the big thing is whether or not it's on IPY5. Because IPY5, it has the tools in his kit. He needs to start getting that CS under his belt because he isn't in a prime position to run all over this game. Because if you look at the side of Team 1, who is their tank?
No one. The Leona, but
Leona and Kled are like off tank. They're not.
Yeah, they're off tank.
tank.
Yeah, then they have a Cho'Gath on Team 2, so that's pretty good for them there, especially as the game progresses and, you know, Cho'Gath hits full build and maybe even the Cassidy, but the hook connects on to Grim Lobo as Riv is looking for initiation. Warning shot not going to connect the Q on top, and that's a decent amount of poke, but Mistress Alawi forces the flash from Bygone Coder. That is a fast Cho'Gath. I'm sure that was a panic flash in my opinion.
I think that was a very justified flash. I just think a little bit of we are going to see engagement on the bottom.
Yeah, Leona ultimate totally whips, but Riv's going to pop the ultimate, not going to connect thanks to directed camera as we are directed mid lane as there is a 3v3 here. The Potato Chip has to run away as there's a lot of DPS on the side of Malzahar.
Yeah, the Malzahar is in a pretty good spot. Lee Sin is drastically far behind, is down 3 levels to Bygone Coder. So that's a difference of like almost 2k gold worth of stats. Like, Little Potato Chip's not having the greatest game on this Lee Sin. Is able to secure his own red though.
Yeah, Bisharp going for a very bold red invade as he has to make his way out of there, trying to kill the Potato Chip since he has a huge lead, but this is not looking too good. Bygone Coder is in a bad position. He actually gets the ultimate on the Lee Sin and picks up the kill as he wants to fight IP5. He's like, I don't care if you're ahead. I'm still going to let my boylings kill you. And the shutdown gold going over to Bygone Coder as Puffin gets a solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, there was just a little bit of misplay coming in from IP5. Was not able to dodge out that silence, which really inhibited his ability in order to get that last Riftwalk and combo to secure the 1-for-1 trade onto Bygone Coder, but because he ate the silence, he ends up giving that juicy shutdown gold over to Bygone, who is in a very powerful position on this Malzahar, and we're seeing absolutely 0 QSSs currently in the game.
Yeah, maybe they're not itemizing it. Maybe they're not respecting the Malzahar as Grim Logo gets pulled in under a turret and is forced to ult on top of Warning Shot here as Tristan's trying to kite his way out. They're trying to keep Grim Lobo alive as the Ignite is burning and ticking, and it might be enough. Nicely done. Rib picks up the kill as Puff is in a bad spot, forced to flash away, and Mistress Alawi is 2 for 2 on these flashes here. He's just taking away the flashes from Team 1 like it's no one's business.
But if kills don't come out of those missing flashes, it's not really amounting to anything. He's already starting to struggle in the 1v1 into Puffin, and that's kind of why you do pick the Kled, is because of the 1v1 pressure, and then you want Mr. Salawi on the Cho'Gath for the team fights.
Yeah, so both of these teams do have a really strong team fighting composition, except the fact that Warning Shot is playing Quinn, so his team fighting potential isn't so optimal. He's more looking to split push as Riv lands the hook on Bisharp. The Sonic Wave connects, and he is going to land it on top of Bisharp as Bisharp's forced to ult away. But Bygone Coder picks up the kill, is on a killing spree as Led Potato Chip avenges and gets the kill on Bisharp as Tristan's looking for the re-engage. Tristan's chasing down Lily Sin. It's not a good option here. Grim Lobo has to be careful here since 3 members of Team 2 are nearby this dragon.
Yeah, that was a little bit optimistic from Rift 60 going for that hook. It was just like, hey guys, I can make this big play happen. And it's just like, oh wait, there's a Malzahar who is 4 levels higher than me there. I don't think this is a good idea, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game where you try to learn, and maybe Riv learned his lesson there.
Note to self, don't try to fight people who are higher level than you.
That's always a good rule. If you guys are tuning in here, one lesson we can teach you about League of Legends is not to fight when you're under level.
Drastically under level. 1 level, you can if you can outplay it, yes, you can make it work, but any more than 1 level, it gets drastically difficult, and right now, the side of Team 1 has a drastic experience advantage over their counterparts. We're seeing 2 levels in the mid lane. We're seeing 1 level in the jungle, 1 level in the top lane. It's just Team 1 just drastically controlling this game. They have about a 4,000 gold advantage. Gloria is coming out onto Puffin, but the charge!
Able to get him a nice sneaky getaway. He's not going to have that up for next team fight, I believe, or maybe they can play around it to force it to team fight so that they know Puffin's ultimate is down. Kled initiation is huge, especially when these team fights are going to be scrappy, especially in this level of play. I'm expecting these bloody fights here as Mountain Drake once again goes over to Team 1.
Yep, and that is really, really scary if you're the side of Team 2, because the enemy team has a Kha'Zix, it has a Kai'Sa. They melt Baron between the 2 of them. They just need someone to tank the Baron, and they will kill the Baron.
That'll be Grim Lobo. So Baron
Grim Lobo. Yeah, if Grim Lobo goes off the map for about 15 seconds, guys, here, he's probably tanking the Baron for his team. So,
Riv not gonna connect that hook. I'm not so sure whether or not he's really good on this Thresh. I feel like he's one of those Thresh players where they get very excited when they land a hook, and they have the mindset where I land the hook, so I have to initiate on it. So I'm not too sure if
it's the Lee syndrome, only it's Thresh instead of Lee.
Yeah. Maybe Riv will prove us wrong. Caster's Curse, he'll say, no, I'm a really good Thresh, and this is why we picked it. But I think Tristan and Grim Lobo are in a really good spot here.
I mean, they're up 20 CS. They have the superior scaling AD carry. They have a lot of teamfight utility. And I will say one thing about Grim Lobo is he's been a magnet for these hooks this game.
Maybe scripts are going on for Riv here as Puffin's trying to 1v1 Mistress Alawi. He's so tanky on this Cho'Gath. Just going to be able to walk away as Bygone Coder is just going to do what Malzahar does best and shove in the lane.
Yeah, the closing in on that all-important Flame Horizon here. Should probably get that within the next minute or so here. And it's just been a lane control domination coming in from Bygone Coder in this mid lane. Like, yes, IPY5 got a very strong start with all those kills, but the amount of CS
goes off with Potato. Initiates on Grim Global, but Tristan's able to get the DPS out as Puffin teleports in. Hook does not connect, and are they looking for a dive? Charge is up for Kled, and they are going to shove in the wave. Maybe look for a dive as Puffin initiates on Rib 60. Cassidy is here. IPY5 is here to support his teammates. As we see Team 1 hovering around Team 2, they want to look for a dive. They have to go in at the right spot here, but Warning Shot getting a nice amount of damage. On top of Grim Lobo gets caught out. He might be dying here as Ignite goes off, and IPY5 goes in, but it costs him his life. Tristan is still alive. They can still fight. The Kai's ultimate goes through with the shield. It keeps him alive. A double kill going over to Bisharp here. The hook connects, but Scarl saves Puffin from the CC. Why build a Quicksilver Sash if Scarl is a CC blocker when the timing is right?
Well, I was speaking about Team 2 needing to build Quicksilver Sashes.
But we do see at least La Potato Chip build it, but you saw in that team fight that IPY5 may be ahead, but his lead is really short here. The fact that Team 1 are able to totally demolish him at only the cost of Grim Lobo. Yeah.
He's not ahead anymore. He's down 3,000 gold.
Oh yeah.
He was ahead for a little while. And then he got lapped in CS. It's 110 CS in the mid lane. We've seen multiple solo gold towers going over to Bygone, and Bygone's just controlling this entire pace of the game, and like everyone else is just like, oh, we're gonna fight all around the map, and Bygone's just like, I'm just gonna shove waves, guys. Have fun.
I mean, they have the freedom to do that, especially when Tristan's this strong, and Bisharp. Tristan able to kite out the members of Team 2 here. We saw Warning Shot try to kill him, but that Kai's ultimate providing the shield, just able to outplay, quotation marks, Warning Shot.
The thirst is real.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of tunnel visioning that fight with IPY5 and Warning Shot as Rip 60's hiding in the bush. Gets the play off, but he's in a bad spot. He's getting a lot of damage taken from Tristan here as Grim Lobo initiates, but it's just Alawi's here. They have to be careful. Grim Lobo is the sacrificial lamb here, but Puffin is here. They might be looking for a re-engage as Kai's doing a lot of damage. Tristan's in the back line, getting free damage off here as he does kill the Thresh here. Warning Shot and Mistress Alawi forced to back away here as Cassidy is here, but Bisharp's right behind him, is on his tail. Gets the shutdown gold on top of Tristan here as Puffin's still looking to fight once again. Warning Shot is able to kite him out here. Lee Sin is here. The Potato Chip initiates on the Kled here. Gets the shutdown gold. A double kill going over to Warning Shot. And this is the turn that Team 2 needed here. Team 1 was way out of position. They were forcing the dive, and this let them get a 4-for-2.
Meanwhile, Bygone's just taking towers.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Team 2 finally got a good team fight. But they're down 5 towers to 0. They're down 6,000 gold. They're down 2 Drakes, soon to be 3 Drakes. And it is a Fire Drake, which would really not be a fun experience to a double Inferno and a double Mount and an Infernal Drake to a team with essentially 4 carries.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Team 1 here. Especially if Bygone just has this free power to just push the waves here and go unresponded, then Team 2 really has to clean up their game strat here, because if that's all they plan on doing is looking for fights, then I don't expect them to be in this game much longer. Puffin goes in 1v3.
That was a bit optimistic, I would say.
Oh, the hook connects onto Bisharp. He does dash away as Rib 60 goes 1v2. He's inting as Puffin himself is inting, but he ints a lot better than that Thresh here as Grim Lobo is taking a lot of damage. Bisharp's looking for an engage, but he can't get it. They're all grouped up, no isolation damage. So it's a 1-for-1. They trade the supports here, and Team 1 and Team 2 are stuck in the standoff. But meanwhile, Bygone Coder.
Bygone's just like, you guys can fight. I'm just gonna split push the entire game.
Yeah, this is the losing team fight, but Kaisa gets the Infernal Drake. This is so good. But they end up getting one kill out of this in that fight. Shutdown gold going over to Bisharp, but Warning Shot picked up the kill.
Bygones is killing base. He doesn't care. I think his team was has gotten a little too hypey, and Bygones is like, screw you guys. I'm just gonna kill the base.
Bygone might be dead. Actually, I think he can turn
Raytron's just
around.
gonna die.
Yeah. No, Bygone has the ultimate. I don't think he should have been so scared. Now he has to run, but if he did that earlier, he might have gotten a double kill on Riv and Warning Shot, but in the end, he's able to stall this out and get a free inhibitor for his team.
You got a free inhibitor, you got about 50% damage onto that Nexus Tower, and I mean, he's the most farmed person in the game. He was sitting on a grand total. He was sitting on 5,100 gold, ladies and gentlemen.
And just think about this is really good for Team 1 actually, because the fact that they have top inhibitor down, it allows them to have Baron priority, not so much to the fact that Superman is pushing in, but if they go for a fight against Team 2 in this Baron pit, there's still going to be pressure from top side.
However, the top side inhibitor is the easiest to defend against Baron. If it was the bottom side inhibitor,
it'd be a lot better.
It would be far more difficult for Team 2 to even think about contesting this Baron. And Riv is slightly out of position here.
Yeah, they go on to the potato chip. See him try to live here, but the Kai's ultimate goes down. Shutdown gold going over to Tristan here as Riv 60's once again by himself. His teammates abandoned him, and he's just going to get chunked down by Bygone Coder here as the team fight is in favor of Team 1. 2 members are down for Team 2. They have to disengage. This could be a free Baron, but they want more. They want more out of this team fight. They're going to keep on going, chase him out, and just say, all right, we'll rotate mid lane. Look at bot lane. Our Kled, Puffin, is just doing work on your bot lane turret while you guys are stuck, distracted by us.
Yeah, it's just been, we're going to play side lanes, and you guys can try to fight us, but we don't care. Yeah, and this is that Baron that I mentioned, but it isn't Vision.
Yeah, there's still Vision, but Jungler is down. The Potato Chip is just spawning now. Bisharp might go down here, but never mind. He is safe and sound and has that Baron buff on him as Puffin is in a bad position, not able to 2v1 his way out of this one as Le Potato Chip lands a Sonic Wave. They're most likely going to get this kill off on Kled as Puffin goes down, but at the cost of Baron for them, things are not looking too good for Team 2.
I mean, you're getting the best thing that you can do. If I was, why are you not just turning and ulting the Thresh?
There is 2 other members. I think Mistress Alawi just kind of knocks him up, and then the ultimate's done for. So he does have to wait for Tristan and Grim Lobo to group up with him, as now Team 2 is stuck dealing with super minions.
I know, but the thing is if you go in with Nethergrass, Tristan can come flying in with Killer Instinct, and all of a sudden that 2v3 turns into a 1v3 turns into a 2v3, and then Grim Lobo has the long-range solo flow. So, normally, yes, but this team has enough long-range mobility that it just doesn't matter. We're going to see another inhibitor fall here momentarily, possibly all 3.
Yeah, they can definitely triple inhib here as Mistress Alawi is initiating on top of Puffin. Puffin's probably going to get taken out here. Forced to flash out as Tristan goes back into the fight. Grim Logo's looking to fight. Shutdown, they take out Mistress Alawi. There's no tank here as the Kozak is just popping off a triple kill for Tristan here, and they just completely wipe the floor on Team 2, and that is an ace, and that's most likely GG, folks. I don't know if that looks as clear as day to you guys, but this is game going over to Team 1.
Yeah, that last fight was indicative of the 11,000 gold lead that was there before the start of the team fight, despite kills being equal. It was just a massive CS differential between all of the lanes. The only lane that was even in farm was the top lane, which did go slightly in favor of the side of Team 2, but you look at mid lane, 150 CS, bot lane, 35 CS, jungle, 60 CS. Like, it was just massive difference in terms of minion priority. I mean, credit to Team 2. They got a lot of really scrappy team fights, but they never could get any objectives.
Yeah. So misplay by Team 2. I think they really had a pressure and looked to finish the game as fast as possible with their team composition, because if Bygone Coder is getting free farm and just kind of free farming, having a free lane essentially, then you have huge issues on your hands, because now your split pushing comp is going to get out split pushed by this team fighting comp that they have on Team 1.
Well, the biggest issue is that you never saw the potato chip ever making an aggressive play for a lane outside of bottom lane early on. Like, he was mainly trying to play catch up after dying solo in his jungler, so he was kind of on a bad foot for a majority of the game. And I think that, again, comes down to the choice of champions for him.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Little Potato Chip. Not looking the best during this game here. He had a good moment where he was able to look for plays here, but I think what really cost him the game might have just been Riv here. I don't know if IP5 was to blame as well, but I think Riv was looking for these initiations that weren't going to work out, but they kind of just went for them anyways. And he just kind of gets stuck with 1v3, as him as a support is obviously going to get blown up.
Wait, you're telling me as a Thresh support I can't 1v3?
Oh, no. Maybe if you were a
Brant or
a
Zyra?
Janna support? No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Like, I just feel like Team 2 just picked rather optimistic champion choices. Like, I never really saw any moments from Riv 60 on the Thresh. Like, he would land his hooks, but he would be flaying the enemy champion away. He would be wasting flay before hook. Like, there was a lot of mechanical and decision-making issues that I found with the side of Team 2.
I'm not sure.
Again, it was still a very enjoyable, a very bloody game to.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm not sure if Riv actually lanterned in a team fight. I can't be confident, but I don't think he ever really did.
Not that I saw. I didn't see any. To be honest, I don't think I ever saw him cast Lantern.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about in the draft phase, where the Thresh is a high variance pick where there's so many variables, and when you're picking Thresh, you just can't be good at the champion. You have to be great, especially if you don't know how to use this kit to the max potential. And I just don't think Riv was using it to the max potential, and that might have just cost his team the whole game. Yes, fault does go to IPY5 for blowing a lead he had in the early game. Maybe the jungler as well. Maybe also maybe they're all to blame here. But what stands out is that I think Grim Loba was just the better support and was able to help his team win those really close fights.
I mean, he had a couple really, really nice solar flares and generally played the lane relatively well. They didn't play it perfectly by any stretch of the imagination, but had a lot of very clutch solar flares onto the back line of the side of Team 2. However, I think everyone would agree the MVP for this game has to be either Bisharp or Bygone Coder.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Bygone Coder definitely put in a lot of work that game. Me personally, I'd definitely give him MVP of that best of one there. He really put in a lot of work and kind of was the man and put his team on his back. Says, all right, guys, it's okay if you guys lose team fights. As long as you guys win most of them, I got us covered.